friend of mine was showing me some artwork, and it was of a female artist, and I said, well, is she hot? And my friend said, who's a female? She said, well, Peter, you wouldn't like her. She's not 20. That's unfair. That's unfair. I haven't dated anybody in their early 20s since I was in my 30s. This is true. And in the last 10 years, I haven't dated anybody under 32. It's a fact. Would I date somebody that was 20 years old? Oh, yeah, sure. Why wouldn't I? I'm not an idiot, you know? I'm well aware that when you get this age, daddy issues is all you have. And I'll be perfectly honest, if you're a guy, daddy issues is all you have anyway. Every woman you're going to date has some kind of daddy issues. As soon as I can figure out my Apple ID, you know, that's the problem, is my age. I can't figure out my Apple ID. I got to go into the Apple store. I'm getting on Tinder. And my age range will be from 18 to like 55, something like that. If a 20-year-old wants to go out with me and do me, oh, yeah, I will. And I'll be bragging about it on the upcoming podcast that me and Robert Masters and Kat Suzuki are going to be doing. And Robert is working right now, meaning he's going on a lot of dates for the podcast. We're going to talk about dogs. We're going to talk about Tinder. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Yes, I would date a 20-year-old. Look at him. He's so cute. He loves it when you say his name like that. Sit. Sit is an implied stay, meaning they're supposed to stay in this position until they get another command. All the commands, sit down, whoa, here, heel, all of them are, it's implied that the dog stays in that position. If he would jump off, Ike's walking around here, Mango's here, Tonka's over there. If he would jump off of this position, I would make sure that he goes back. And I would say no. As soon as I saw him come off the tire, I would say no, and I would get him back up on the tire, repeating the command. No, sit. You have to teach the commands this way. This notion that you can just be purely positive with the dog is nonsense. It's just nonsense that people are selling because it sounds good to a human. Oh, I don't have to tell the dog no. We have 4 million dogs dying every fucking year in the United States. That's just the ones that are in shelters. You know, it's a mess. It's a mess. Our society is a mess. It's a bunch of unrealistic people and a bunch of assholes that are trying to sell unrealistic dog training to the American public. You have to teach your dog no, and you have to teach all the commands as implied stays. You never say the word stay. If I was doing shit like this to Joopy, if I was going, Joopy, stay, I'm telling him that there's another command other than sit. There isn't. There's just sit. If he was in the down position, if I put him in the down position and I said, Joopy, stay, I'm telling him once again that there's down and something else called stay. There's not. It's just sit like he's doing. Does this make sense? If you ever hear anybody saying stay, they're probably either a food trainer or a dog whisperer. Stay hasn't been, my father used stay. Well, you know, this was in the 70s, you know, 60s and 70s. That was dropped so long ago. It was like dropped in the 80s. People were like, don't say stay anymore because it doesn't make any sense. It's just the command, sit. God, I hope this makes sense. Now, he's doing great. We got Tonka, all right, here. Come here, buddy. Now, we have Tonka running around, which he loves Tonk, but just because Tonk comes over here doesn't mean Joopy can get off his mark. He can go play with Tonka later. It's not necessary. This is time for learning. You should see Joopy's little tail. Joopy's awesome. So we practice this, and at times, like he's doing great, I'm going to pull him off it, and I'm going to put him right back on the spot. Remember, dog training's repetitious. Joopy, here, heel, and then we'll walk him back over here. What's up, Tonky? Move, you skinny little freak. No, Tonka, get up there. Come on, Jupiter, up. Tonka. All right, you guys want to... Okay, sit. Tonka, sit. You better sit. So same thing. It doesn't matter. Do you understand? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're sitting right next to each other. I told them to sit. You know, they need to sit. Ike's here. It's a distraction. Now I'm going to let him play because Joopy's... Oh, Joopy stood up before I released him. Sit. So I'll make a couple circles. Sit. I wasn't talking to Ike, but that's good. Sit. Look at those three idiots. All three of these dogs are about on the same wavelength, meaning they're all male, they're all intact, they all have their balls, and they're all sort of harmless relatively. You know, they're good with humans, they're good with other animals. They're bird dogs. Good. Sit. Notice how I'm circling the dogs. I'm getting them used to seeing that I can move around, but they can't. So we instill this notion that the dog needs to stay by circling them. God, they're cute. That's three cute dogs. Sit. 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 Good. Joop's leash off of him. He can run around because he did a good job. Okay, go on. What are you looking at, dummy? Get out of here, Ike.
Caine says I'm gorgeous. Aren't I, Caine?
Yeah, but you're dumber than a rock, dude, and everybody knows it.
No, you can go. Here, come on. Tonky!
Gorgeous.
You might be good looking, but you are stupid.
This is Jake. It's the same process. It's the same thing. If he gets off the mark, it's the same thing. He needs to go back, and I'll put him back there quickly by giving him some kind of pressure wave and some attitude while he's off. When he gets back on the play circle, pressure's lifted. He's back. He's once again being compliant. That's what you need to do. What you really need to do is you need to condition knowing properly and make sure that your timing when you're saying the word no is along with the correction. Either you're giving a quick pop of the leash, a real quick snap, when I say no, or it could be a snap of the leash and using the E-collar real low. This is on 6. You could also use it on vibrate, but you want to tie it into the word no. Tonka or Mango's, you know, good job, Mango. Get away from his wiener. Mango's getting a little gay, aren't you, Mango? Look at that. He's trying to hump him. Sit. Ignore Mango. He's a dick.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hump this guy. It's not gay, Caine. It's all about dominance.
Good boy. Sit. You're doing good, dude. Same thing. I circled Jake. Make sure he doesn't move. If I saw that he was going to get up, I might hit the E-collar. It's on 6. And say no. Make sure that he sits back down. Just keep circling him and making the circles bigger. It wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter if Ike's standing here or Ike runs by him or Jake has had a history of being bad with cats and small animals. If a squirrel was in the yard or something, he needs to learn to stay where I told him to stay. He needs to be compliant. Fucking Mango. Yeah, you guys know I'm trying to work, right? No, sit. That Mango's like a dirty little farm dog. Good boy, Jake. Sit. I make the circles bigger. Make sure to turn my back to him at times. Make sure that he sees that it doesn't really matter where I'm at. I got eyes in the back of my head. That's what you want to tell the dog, that it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. If you can't see me, I can see you. So I'll use an iPhone. I'll use mirrors. I'll use my peripheral vision. I'll make sure that if he is coming off of his mark, I catch him right at that point. Remember, you have 1.3 seconds for all your positive and negative reinforcement. You understand? It has to happen right at that point. If he's sitting, it's right when his ass goes down on the ground. If he gets up, it's right as his ass is getting up off the ground. If you see the dog, hey, Jake, if you see the dog and it looks like he's about to get up, say no and repeat the command. Use your psychic powers and make sure that the dog is compliant. He's doing great. Good boy, Jake. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. You're doing good, dude. Mango, stop trying to hump Jake. Mango's a little gay.
Caine, you're the one that's gay.
No, sit. Surly. Look at that surly attitude. That's the attitude you want for a dog that's gonna fucking jump in freezing cold water that a normal dog won't. Okay, and I don't even know if it was freezing cold. But that's what you fucking want. You want a cocky attitude. You don't want some sheepish dog. Oh, I don't want to get in that. He'll go in any type of water, I swear to God. Any type of water. Sit. Ike. Well, well, well. What do we have here? Look at who it is. It's the Duncan Munchkin herself, Mila. We're doing the same thing with Mila that we were with Jake and Joopy. You go over everything with your dog for the rest of the life of your dog. Don't think that because the dog is trained, you don't have to work with it anymore. That's not the way it goes. Training is a lifetime of the dog. So we're doing the exact same thing. You backtrack. Sometimes I work Ike just doing sit. They like to do it too because you're going to get success. Like with her, we know we're going to get success because she knows what to do. So it's going to be a positive experience for the dog. Sit, right? And we circle the dog and make sure that she knows not to move. Just because I'm moving around doesn't mean that she needs to follow me, she needs to do anything. What she needs to do is the command, which is sit. It's implied that she stays in that position until I give her another command or release her. Now, if she would screw up, I would say no, like with the other dogs, and I would make her go back to this position. Say, no, sit. Repeating the command. Don't repeat the commands if they already know it. You can habituate the dog when they're young. You can say the command, sit, sit. You can do that. But after they learn the command, just say, no, sit if the dog is not compliant. If we were training the dog to do something more difficult than just sit, like say she was going to do the first time sit and hold, then I might repeat the command, sit, sit. Do you understand? But for general rule of thumb, once the dog is trained, if they're non-compliant, it's no, and repeat the command. No, sit. By the way, English Cocker Spaniels, black ones, are like magnets for mud. You know, it's kind of muddy up here right now. Filthy, filthy. There's a lot of upkeep on English Cocker Spaniels. If you were going to use one to hunt, seriously, you would have to either shave the dog because of burrs and stuff, or just plan on it goes hunting, it's going right to the groomer.